Mr. Trump said, "I find I get along better with the construction workers and the cab drivers, the people who count in the world. Working people respect the fact that I built this company by myself." His wife Ivana said, "He's the people's billionaire. You have no idea. Middle-class Americans adore Donald, and I don't know why. They shouldn't. They should resent him. He's young and he's wealthy and he flaunts it." Donald Trump said, "I'm sick and tired of reading about how I buy. Nobody concentrates on the hard work to get the possessions. I built this company by myself." This stunning display took place in August 1987 at lunchtime in the Grand Ballroom of the Grand Hyatt, where each table was striving to go aloft with a batch of red, white, and blue balloons that read, "Don King, only in America." King, the promoter with the understated hairdo, announced that HBO is telecasting this to the whole universe of this nation. Mr. King said that Mike Tyson had come 360 degrees around, and that's the triangle of life. Mr. King saved his most lavish encomiums for Donald Trump, with whom he has entered into a partnership for the upcoming fight. King mentioned the great edifices that Trump, the real estate magnate, had built. He started off about, "That guy in Russia, what's his name?" King turned to Trump, who said it softly. Mr. King said, "Gorbachev, that's right." He asked Donald to redo Russia personally. Oh woo. Leningrad is spinning in his grave. "Lenin," someone shouted. "Lenin," repeated King triumphantly. Mr. King next spoke about touching the hem of the great man, Trump, and that he was so lost for words to define this man that he had to make up a new one. Telesynergistic. That will go into the lexicons and dictionaries and what have you. What does telesynergistic mean? Mr. King said it has something to do with the kind of genius that can make 2 and 2 add up to 10. When 1989 began, nobody was expecting the world to turn inside out, but then the trembling increased, and the mountains around the Cold War horizon began to wobble and fall over. Polish communism went first, and then Hungary's rulers published an abdication plan. In August, the Baltic republics of the Soviet Union began to demand independence. On August 23, 1989, in one of history's most spectacular and moving events, there assembled a human chain of nearly 2 million men, women, and children standing hand in hand in a line stretching 400 miles across the landscape, from Vilnius through Riga to Tallinn, asking for freedom, justice, and independence. Perhaps a quarter of the entire Baltic population joined the chain. One day early in the fall of 1989, when Mr. Trump and Marla Maples were watching the Trump helicopter take off from Atlantic City, Mr. Trump asked, "Can you believe that I own that? Can you believe that's my name on the side?" October was the decisive month. On October 2, 1989, a huge demonstration calling for reform gathered in Leipzig and decided to keep meeting every Monday until their demands were met. The Leipzig marches defying the police were now attracting hundreds of thousands. Erich Honecker, communist leader of East Germany, threatened to copy the Chinese who had shot hundreds of demonstrators in Tiananmen Square only months earlier. On Monday, October 9, 1989, the real turning point of the revolution, armed militias in Leipzig refused to fire on the crowds. On October 10, 1989, 3 of Donald Trump's top casino executives were killed when their rented helicopter plummeted flying from Manhattan to Atlantic City. Donald Trump and the highest-ranking members of the Trump Organization knew full well that they had been fooling the public about Mr. Trump's business acumen and financial strength. Stephen F. Hyde, 43, who bore responsibility for Trump's 3 Atlantic City casino properties, Taj Mahal top executive Mark G. Itas, 38, and Jonathan Benoit, 33, executive vice president of Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino, were killed along with the craft's 2 pilots. Less than a month later, Erich Honecker of East Germany was overthrown. On November 9, 1989, the Berlin Wall was breached.